This piece that I'm playing now is a very emotional piece for me. I made it. It was the first emotional piece that I, or the first piece that I made dealing with emotions that I felt. Right? So I titled it while in college. It's based around being a young black boy and gravitating towards films to void the emptiness that I felt growing up. I would watch movies like The Godfather, Charlie Chaplin films, The Land Beyond Sunset, which was a very early Edison movie, and Forrest Gump, and Citizen Kane, and just to really look at and feel the emotions of wanting this perfect life and feeling like I need to live in this illusion in order to have a perfect life. Meanwhile, I felt like I was dying and didn't have much. Didn't have a lot of friends, didn't have a lot of sociability skills. And these are films that I really looked up to for the most part while I was in college, with the exception of really two. But those two films conveyed the emotions I had while I was in college. I had my college, or was having my college to some degree paid for, and people used to talk to me about how much of an opportunity it was. And the only problem was while I was having it paid for, I wasn't really being exposed or learning how else to live my life, and that there's life beyond college. And I wasn't really learning how to be exposed to that, like how to get a job, even how to have friendships, how to have relationships with people. And it just pretty much covers the emptiness that I felt being a young black kid from Richmond, going to school every day, convinced that this is going to be my way out and that this is going to erase all of the pain. Meanwhile, while I'm going there, I'm in an environment with thousands of people, but I feel levels of emptiness that are unbelievable to talk about. I grabbed hold of a lot of these clips to really show the emotions that I was going through, because a lot of this, as I said, was stuff that I was exposed to while I was in college, such as Will Smith and I Am Legend. I saw that right before I transferred from Diablo Valley College in Pleasant Hill to San Francisco State, and that movie hit home for me because while I was attempting to make a life for myself, the only way I really knew how to do that was in my imagination. And people like Charlie Chaplin and Will Smith and films like The Godfather helps me do that. And it was just difficult making the transition to a life where now I'm expected to do everything by myself, when years before I was strongly sheltered and kept from doing things to make my life independent. And as I'm making this piece, I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about just the whole aspect of not really being taught or knowing how to deal with my pain, and to get to a point where I could watch movies and find that pain from various clips that I saw, put it together to really show the levels of emotion that I was dealing with. The lack of connection, the feelings of emptiness, the wanting to connect, wanting to bond, and not really knowing how to bond with myself, but being on this path of being told that this is going to be the way for you to be successful. And it really wasn't shown much else. on how to really fend for myself and start my life. Being someone who was locked up, who, even though I escaped the prisons of the streets, I didn't escape the imprisonment of ancestral trauma, of societal trauma. And that's why I made this piece.